just a lead left hook. I don't want to do this, right? This is kind of suffocating. It's a little bit of an arm punch. So I see how the movement occurs here. I'm moving this, I'm actually turning my hips already, which turns the back shoulder. It's got to be a little bit more compact, but not like a T-Rex either, you know. Okay. If you're, orthodox, you're going to throw your right hand. Okay. If you look at the hips here, the hips turn, right? Good morning, guys. I hope you're doing well today. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I really appreciate it. Shout out to all the subscribers. Gratitude to anybody new. Welcome along. In this video, you, the beginner, is going to learn how to throw a left hook. Nice and easy right now, right? Just to show you guys. You don't have to go crazy. All right, nice and loose. Or a right hook for a southpaw. I'm going to do my very, very best to break down the mechanics. So a few simple, really important pointers about how to throw a left hook. Technique is a big part of this. So, and the leverage that you get, the turn, using the hips, exactly, dropping that shoulder, boom. Good. You want to be loose, you want your shoulders to be relaxed, and you want to just start off by dropping your shoulders slightly, and then whipping the shot around, and coming in like this, right? I've got a client in the gym as well that is very new to boxing. He's like his third or fourth session, so I'm gonna bring in clips and explanations on how I was working with him to help him with his left hook. Just loosen up a little bit. It's easier said than done. It's gonna take a bit of practice. And I'm also gonna let you know how to practice your left hook cross, left hook. So just practice that. Boom, 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 because a lead left hook is not the easiest punch in the world. And then you put the right hand through, right? The hips turn, the shoulders all the way through. And this is gonna push the back shoulder back, and that's gonna help the hook like that, right? Boom, boom. So by the end of the video, you're gonna have a good understanding on the mechanics of it. All right, turn that, boom, body a little bit more. There we go. How to start off by even, standing so you can actually get yourself in a better place to throw a left hook, and then how to practice it and just overall feel a lot more confident about throwing the left hook, because it's a complicated punch. So let's go.
Boxing.
All right, guys, we're gonna get straight into it because I just got moved around over there a couple times from the other places because it's so busy this morning. It's such a beautiful day. And wherever you are, I hope you're doing well, and I hope you are enjoying the weather, and I hope you are getting out there practicing and applying yourself. That's one of the most important things on this channel. As I always say, after you watch the video, try to get into a gym, practice, get outside, shadow box, do what you need to do so you can really use the information to your best advantage. But first things first, get a good stance. This is absolutely crucial. I say this in every punch, I say it every video, because it is so important. If you don't have a good foundation and a good structure and a good stance, you're already, starting in a bad place, because, your mechanics aren't going to be right to start off with. So that's really important. Getting a good stance is where you need to start out with being relaxed, all right? Relax, loosen your arms, yeah? Loosen your arms, and then get your hands up. Right here, nice and relaxed. You don't want them out here. You don't want them straight like this either, or like that. Right? You want them like this. They're just bent going down the side of your cheekbone. Right? I made a video about the stance. The sun's about to come out. It's a really beautiful day here. If you haven't watched that, I will leave the link up here or in the description. That is vital. I can't recommend that enough. Good stance, right? Now, part of having a good stance is being relaxed. Now, this is also really crucial too. You have to be very, very relaxed, especially when throwing a left hook. It's a punch where beginners can often become very, very, very robotic, right? It can end up being like this, which is not really what you want to do. You want to be relaxed. So just loosen up a little bit, right? Relax your shoulders. Just relax, breathe a little bit, and just understand your body language is going to be a massive factor in determining how the punch is going to finish, right? So when you've done that and you have a good stance, right, the question that I always ask, right, or always mention, is how do you get your hand from here, right, which is your basic stance, on your hands on your chin, elbows on your rib cage, nice and bent, relaxing my shoulders with my chin down. How do I get my hand from here to here, right? That's really the main thing you should be focusing on. Obviously, we're going to talk about turning the hips and turning the body and, you know, putting your shoulders through it. But the whipping of this motion here is something you can definitely practice, right? And once you start to practice this, right, over and over, and you start to get loose at it like this, right? Because when you punch from the chin here, and the point of impact is going to come right back to the chin. Apologies for that. The audio the mic just dropped out, right? So it's going to boom. Right, that's the rhythm, right? Now, a lot of people do get a bit obsessed with turning the front foot. You should definitely do that most of the time, but it's not a be-all and end-all. What is important is to be relaxed, to whip that shot around. Don't be robotic. You know, there's a nice short follow-through with the snap, boom, and then bring it right back here. Now, I'm going to get onto practicing in a minute, and I'm going to give you demonstrations from the gym with fish, because he asked a very important question.
Okay. So let's just work on that. That's a great question as well. That depends, right? Let's talk about that really quickly, because this is what you call a palm facing down hook, which is a little shorter, doesn't invoke as many muscles, but this is a little wider. So I would say, which one are you better at? We'll do a few. Let's do a few, see which one you're better at. This is a great question because it comes up a lot, and I'm like, I always see a beginner be better at one than the other. I'm like, just do that one.
And I'll talk about it now, is which hook should you have as a beginner, right? Do you do the wide thumb facing up hook, right? Which is typically a bit more powerful, invokes different muscle groups. I'm not gonna get into that right now, unless actually I made a video with another client and friend, Russell, where I broke down what muscles it have. Maybe I'll pull that in right now because it's important, and I like to touch on a bit of science. I like to geek out on punches every now and then, but you don't really need to know that. What you need to know is which one are you better at, right? Which one's more comfortable for you? Are you more comfortable throwing a hook like this, right? Which is the thumb facing up, and I'll zoom in so you really can see, all right? Or are you more comfortable throwing this, which is the palm facing down hook, right? Which is typically a little bit shorter. The action is a little bit different, all right? So I notice every time and I've been training beginners for almost 15 years now, and I see the same pattern. They will usually be better at one than the other. Sometimes it's a little closer, like with fish. It was quite close, even though I thought the wider hook was better for him.
Make your choice for you. If you do 10 of each and see which one is more fruitful, one will come out where it's like, this one's a bit better. Okay. So, do the throw a right hand too. Relax a little bit, but you got the rhythm. But that can cause a little bit of stress and throw you off a little bit. Just nice and loose. You want to be as loose as you can. Try the other one. And then just see which one's more comfortable. One's going to be a little bit better than the other for you, I think, usually. So you want to finish like that. Yeah. Just loosen up a little bit. It's easier said than done. It's going to take a bit of practice. Personally, I think the wider one looks better. What do you think?
Yeah. I think this is how I've been doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I've never really done this.
No. They're both
For some
actually...
reason, this seems more natural, but right now, this
feels a bit
natural.
better. Yeah. I think so too. But you're going to have to pick one of those, and then whatever one, throw a multiple amount of each, and then whatever one you're better at, stick to that, right? Because then you're going to be able to really home in and get one good, rather than trying to get a bunch, you know, two different hooks. You know, you can't figure out which one mechanics is right for you. Focus on one, and then when you've done that, practice it a lot. I'm going to get into practicing very shortly, as I said. But if you start with a good stance, right, nice and relaxed, and actually you're gonna want to drop the shoulder, right? For a left, drop the shoulder like this. If you're a southpaw, it's just the other way around, all right? You're just doing the exact same things, just the other way around. But right here, just a lead left hook. I don't want to do this, right? This is kind of suffocating. It's a little bit of an arm punch. So you see how the movement occurs here. I'm moving this. I'm actually turning my hips already, which turns the back shoulder, right? That's how the shoulder. I'm not going to turn the back shoulder like this. I'm going to turn my hips, boom, right, bam, boom, and that's how you get that rhythm. The rhythm comes from the hips, right, and then boom. You could turn the front foot, no problem. As I said, it really depends for me what position I'm in. You know, if I'm a little further out here and my opponent's here, I'm gonna turn the hook. If I'm here, boom, I don't need to turn the hook. But, you know, if it feels like your body needs to go in that direction, then so be it. But quick recap, and then we'll get into the practicing, right? Nice and relaxed. Hands on the chin, stance. Turn those hips. You want to start off by turning those hips, boom, whip the shot round. Now the whipping of the round is where a lot of the roboticness can happen, right? Like this, but just actually whip it, you know? Make a conscious effort to really understand that this is really important. That little whip right there, right? Boom. And you're just gonna have to get better at that. And once you get better at that, a lot of things will come together, right? It's complicated, stick with it, you can do it, all right? Let's get into practicing. Okay, so as I'm showing you right now with fish about how to practice it, this is a great tip.
Do the throw a right hand too.
Okay, if you're, you know, orthodox, you're gonna throw your right hand, okay? If you look at the hips here, the hips turn, right? I'm not even throwing the right hand, and that's them turning, and then you put the right hand through, right? The hips turn, the shoulders all the way through, and this is gonna push the back shoulder back, and that's gonna help the hook like that, right? Boom, 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 boom. I can't stress this enough to help you practice it, right? If you're struggling with just the lead left hook, do this, right? Because when you start doing this, boom, right, boom, you do that a few times, then you take it away, and you imagine you're punching too, and that's when you can do it without. See the turn of the hook there? All I'm doing is not throwing a punch, right? That. So it really helps you understand the mechanics and the flow of the punch. But my gosh, it's quite hot out here today. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope this made sense. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this video a little bit shorter so I can get a lot of the information and pile it in a shorter format. So sometimes I go on for a little bit too long, which is a time and a place for, but I want you to really understand a few basic things about a hook, and I'll give you a quick summary right now. Yeah, so quick summary. Good stance, vital. Being relaxed, vital. The mechanics of your arm whipping around here. You don't want to go too wide, right? Like this isn't really good. It's got to be a little bit more compact, but not like a T-Rex either, you know? You've got to get a nice little whip in there. Boom, like that. Wow. And that is going to really help you understand. Don't go too fast. Take your time. Practice the way that I mentioned. Find out which hook is best for you. These things already is going to really help you, because once you know those things and once you can implement them, then practicing is going to be a lot easier, I think. Anyway, that's it from me. I'm about 95%. The Patreon is up. If you guys are interested in personal, you know, coaching, from even just being part of a Discord server where you can ask me questions and send me videos, I will leave the link in the description. I've been talking about that for a while. I finally got it done, so that's going to be up today, and I'll be on that Discord server every single day. If you need motivation, you know, discipline tips, obviously depending on what tier you're on, you can send me videos, but I'm really here to help you guys in the best way I possibly can, to help you improve not only your boxing but your lifestyle, and you know, your self-discipline and self-love. That's what I'm all about. Anyway, gorgeous day today. Peace, love. My name is Henry. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And as I said, get practicing, apply yourself, watch the video back, take on board the tips, and go out there and just, you know, practice that rhythm. Boom. That's what it's all about. Thank you.
Boxing.
On it.